We really need guys, but we need good, tough guys. Especially mobile work, it's not easy. It's not. Even being in the shop is not easy. You're busting knuckles all day long. Sometimes you have crazy problems that you can't explain. So you have to be to be tough, not just strength wise, heart and mind too. And you could let things get to you so easily. Just this truck's been beating me down for months now, and I can't figure out the problem, and it gets hard. It does get hard. So know what you're getting into ahead of time. I think a lot of people don't know what they're getting into. Then they get into it. Unfortunately, some people end up with debt to get into the business, and then they don't. They get to it and they're like, this sucks. I don't like doing this. I want to go back to just turning wrenches in my garage or my own personal car. And that's a whole different ball game. I used to train a lot of guys, and a lot of guys, I'd talk to them like, why'd you want to get into mechanics? Oh, well, I love working on my buddy's car, and we're doing this tuning thing, or we're modifying the cars. That's a completely different ball game than working on someone's day-to-day vehicle. It's got to be safe. It's got to get them to work and home to their families. So it's a different mindset than you see on TV or you see on the restoration shows and stuff like that. Really know what you're getting into. If you can talk to someone and get your foot in the door to just see what it is for a month, 2 weeks, before you go racking up those bills. Because I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family shop where everything, all the knowledge was handed to me on a silver platter. And then fortunate enough to get in line with this shop that just gave me even more without having to, other than tool debt, not having to have any looming debt, And that's another thing too. If you go through the school, you're given all this money for tools and stuff like that. Be smart with it. We're given a huge $10,000 credit for tools. And the first thing they buy is the biggest toolbox that Snap-on has to offer. And that's not what's going to get you. You need to get yourself the tools that are going to make you fast. The impact wrenches, the electric tools, those are game changers. I grew up in a time where everything was air, not having to drag an air hose everywhere I go is just, that's a time saver just in itself, Get those type of tools first for sure. I know, growing up in this industry, especially in Yucaipa, Redlands area, I know a lot of owners personally that would much rather hire someone like that than going to a school. And of course, you just have to have a good attitude. Like, hey, I'll be honest, I don't have any experience. I have this, but I want to learn. Like, is there any way I can start? You got to show up too. We see it all the time. Guys starting jobs and then 2-3 weeks later, that remorse hits them and they stop showing up. And it's like, well, what happened? No, nothing happened. It just, or you can't get a hold of them. Training wise, it's hard too. Like you don't take it personally, but it kind of hurts. Like, man, did I do something wrong? Like I don't want to be mean, but at the same time, there's points I got to get across at times. But at the same time, like, I can't be everybody's best friend, That's what I would say. And mobile wise too is, I think the hardest thing is just being by yourself all the time. That's hard. I know I get back to the shop early sometimes and I get in trouble with my foreman. He's like, hey, I know you want to talk, but these guys got to get to work. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. You're right. I was like, I've been on the road all day. I've been by myself for the last 2 weeks. I haven't seen anybody. I just need to talk to someone, Yeah. He's like, just come talk to me. I was like, all right.